This week in reading, we're going to be talking about author's purpose. We did go over author's purpose for a while in class together. Remember, author's purpose is the pie. Think about my anchor chart that had all the pieces of pie. So an author's purpose is pie: persuade, inform, or entertain. So authors are a lot like bakers. A baker creates a yummy treat for other people to eat, and an author creates a piece of writing for other people to read. And authors have various reasons or purposes for writing. They have many different reasons for writing, but most of the time they fall into our pie chart. So let's look. Authors have various purposes for writing. Pie. Persuade. When we're persuading, that means we're trying to convince you. I'm trying to change your mind about something. Inform, which is to teach you about something. And E is entertain, to make you LOL. When you hear author's purpose, always think of pie. Think about the pie slices up on the anchor chart that I had for a few weeks. Persuade, inform, entertain. So persuade, the author's purpose might be to persuade. The author wants to convince the reader to either do something or to agree with them. Penny's pie. So we're still talking about persuade. Once you sink your teeth into one of Penny's mouth-watering pies, you'll never want to try one from anybody else. 10 flavors, just $10 each. Call this number to order yours today. This is a type of ad, and usually when you have a commercial or an ad in a magazine or a flyer, when you go to the grocery store, it's because they want you to buy something. And the way to get you to buy something is to persuade you, is to try to convince you that you can't live without it or that it's the best pie ever. So the author's purpose for creating this advertisement is to persuade you, to convince you, to make you think, oh yeah, maybe that pie is the best pie. What is the author trying to persuade the reader to do? What does this advertisement want you, the reader, to do? Exactly. The author is trying to persuade you to buy one of Penny's pies because Penny's pies are the best pies around. They want you to think what they think. They think that Penny's pies are the best and they want you to spend your money on it. So they have to convince you or persuade you and change your mind so that you will do something like go buy their pie or think that their pie is the best. Now, the next part of our pie, or the next reason that authors write, is to inform you. The author's purpose might also be to inform. The author wants to give the reader facts or true information about a subject. So this is almost always going to be a non-fiction story. They are trying to give you facts about something. If they start listing facts about whales, how old they are, how they grow, what they eat, how big they get, yeah, whales might be cool and I might love learning about whales, but the reason that author is writing is to inform me, is to teach me about whales. I might have a good time while I read it, but they are teaching me because they're giving me facts and they're giving me true information about a subject. Wolves live and hunt in groups called packs. Some packs just have a couple wolves, while other packs are quite large and have about 20 wolves. Most packs have an alpha pair, one female leader and one male leader. The alpha pair is the only one in the pack who breeds or produces pups. When a wolf pup is born, it takes about 8 months before the pup is ready to participate in the wolf pack hunts. The alpha pair also leads each hunt. When a pack of wolves hunts together, they can kill large animals like moose. When the pack kills an animal, the alpha pair always eats first. So this is an example of an author who is trying to inform you. They want to teach you something. They are giving you facts about wolves. Yes, I might have loved and been super entertained while I was reading this, but that's not the author's purpose. The author's purpose is not to make you laugh or make you have a good time. The author's purpose is to teach you about wolves and how they are in packs together. So what is the author informing the reader about? What is the author trying to teach you or inform you about? Right. How wolves live and hunt in groups called packs. That's my first sentence. Sometimes it can be tricky to tell whether the author is trying to persuade or inform the reader. Remember, when the author's purpose is to inform, only facts are stated. That is so important to remember. Inform is only facts. You are never going to get my opinion about the wolves. I might say wolves are really cool, but that is my opinion, and then that means that the author is trying to persuade you because I want you to think wolves are cool. So inform is only facts, no opinions. When the author's purpose is to persuade, the author tries to convince you to think like him or her. To do this, the author may use facts, but they also include statements that are used to convince you, meaning their opinion. So just like I said, if I was trying to persuade you or convince you, I would say wolves are so cool. They're so cool because they know how to work as a group together. They go in packs and they hunt together, and that's what makes them so cool. Now, my opinion is that they are cool. Yeah, I gave you a fact, but I'm trying to convince you and persuade you to also think that they are cool, and I gave you a few facts to make you think that they're cool. Inform is only facts. It is only going to tell you facts, no opinions. So let's think. Determine whether the author's purpose is to inform or to persuade. So let's look at this first one. People should stop drinking Coca-Cola and other sugary sodas. People who drink a lot of soda tend to be overweight and have more health problems. Clearly, drinking soda is not good for you. So what is this first passage trying to teach? What is this author trying to do? Is this author trying to persuade you or inform you? This author on this side is trying to persuade you. They said people should stop drinking Coca-Cola and other sugary drinks. Is that my opinion or the author's opinion, or is that a fact? If I ever say should, then that is most likely telling me that it is my opinion. It also says that clearly, at the end, clearly drinking soda is not good for you. Sure, it has a lot of sugar in it, and I gave you a fact, but what if I really need sugar or my body is really low on sugar and for some reason I need sugar? Words like good and should stop, those kinds of words are telling you that I'm trying to persuade you. I'm trying to convince you. I'm trying to give you a different view than you might already have. Now let's look at the other one. Coca-Cola has been around since 1886 and it is popular in countries all over the world. Coca-Cola was the first soda consumed by astronauts in outer space. So what is this author trying to do? Is this author trying to persuade you, or is this author trying to inform you? Inform. They are trying to teach you about what? What is this author trying to inform you about? Coca-Cola. Did they at any time say the word good, best, should? Did they give you any of their opinions about Coca-Cola? No, they only gave you facts. Inform is only facts. So it says underline statements where the author is trying to persuade the reader. People should stop drinking sugary Coca-Cola drinks, which is what we said. It says should stop. And clearly is not good. What you think is good may not be what I think is good. Whenever you use words like good, great, best, only choice, those are opinion words, those are persuading words. Now, the other purpose that authors have for writing stories is to entertain you. So we had persuade, P, inform, I, and now we're on the E in pi. The author will write to entertain you. They want to give you something that you will enjoy reading. It's almost always going to be a fiction story. It's a story that's not real. It can be realistic fiction. It is something that could happen, but is not based in facts. Fiction books are written for entertainment. Books written to entertain may be happy, sad, scary, suspenseful. Any emotion is possible. So if they are trying to make you feel a certain way, like sad or happy or scared, then it is most likely entertained if it is fiction. When the author's purpose is to entertain, they usually write books that have characters, a setting, dialogue, meaning when characters are talking, when people are talking in the story, and a beginning, middle, and end. If it has any of these things in it, it is almost certain that the author is trying to entertain you. In persuasion, in that advertisement where I was trying to convince you to buy the pies, there was no setting and there was nobody talking and there wasn't a beginning, a middle, or an end to the story because I'm just trying to convince you of something. Now think about the wolves example that I gave you. The like wolves are so cool. Wolves are so cool because they hunt in packs together and they live in packs together. That's why wolves are so cool. That, what I just said to you, doesn't have a setting. It doesn't have a dialogue where people are talking, and it definitely does not have a beginning, middle, or end. So you need to think about that when we see characters or a setting or a problem and a solution and a beginning, middle, and end. Those are almost always going to be fiction stories and are going to be to entertain you. So let's look at this entertaining example. Hannah remained at her desk while her classmates left the classroom and headed for the playground. When the last student had left, Miss Linster turned to Hannah. "You're not in trouble, Hannah, but I wanted to talk to you about your grades. You haven't done very well on your last 3 spelling tests." Hannah looked down at her desk. "I know, my mom got a new job where she works at night and my big sister doesn't want to study with me." "I see. I'm going to show you a way where you can practice your words on your own," replied Miss Linster. So it says, read the story and underline the evidence of characters, setting, and dialogue. Where are the characters? Who are the characters in the story? Hannah and Miss Linster. So we already know that there's characters in the story. So it's most likely an entertained story. But let's keep finding more clues, more evidence to tell us that it's entertained. Let's find the setting. Where are they in this story? In the classroom, right? She was about to go out to the playground, but her teacher asked her to stop. Now, dialogue. Are there characters talking in this story? Are they saying things out loud? It's always, dialogue always has what around it? Quotation marks. These little things right here that say this, someone's about to start talking, and then you talk, and then it's at the end. Someone's done talking, so let's see, where's the dialogue? Look at all that dialogue. So look at all this evidence. I have characters, I have a setting, and I have dialogue where people are talking. So this definitely has to be entertained. I'm just trying to entertain you with this story. So when we do our Zoom lesson later, we'll do a few examples, but we'll do this one together. Jason is reading a nonfiction book about the history of baseball. What was the author's purpose for writing this book? If it's a nonfiction book and it's about the history of baseball. A, persuade. Do you think that this book is trying to convince Jason that baseball is the best? B, inform. Is it giving him facts about the history of baseball? Or C, entertain. Does it have characters and a setting and a problem and dialogue? Which one do you think? Right, inform. The author is trying to teach him about the history of baseball. And it says right here that it's nonfiction. If it is a nonfiction book, it is almost always going to be informed because they are giving you facts. Okay, so later on, we're going to be working on some more author's purpose. This whole week, you need to think about the author's purpose. Is the author's purpose to persuade me? I'm going to go back all the way for pi. Is the author's purpose to persuade me, to convince me of something? Is the author's purpose to inform me, to only give me facts, no opinions? Persuade is opinions, inform is facts. Or is it to, where is it? What is the last one? P, persuade, I, inform, E, entertain. Or is it to entertain me? All week, you're going to be reading stories and you're going to have to explain, why did the author write this story? And not just only why, like is it persuade, inform, or entertain, but what is the author trying to get across to me? If the author's trying to persuade me, what is the author trying to persuade me about? If the author is trying to inform me, what is the author trying to inform me about? And if the author is trying to entertain me, how is the author trying to entertain me? What is the story about that the author is trying to entertain me with? Make sure to watch this video. There's also a vocabulary video about pi, and make sure to watch these videos a few times throughout the week to make sure that you're ready to answer your questions.